Ethiopia is emerging, or perhaps Ethiopia has emerged as one of the African country who is self-sufficient in terms of, or on the path of self-sufficiency in terms of defense equipment. Why do I say this? Ethiopia has started to produce its own drones for that are used for weapon as a weapon defense weapon, both for local market and international market. That means for export as well. It's not only drone. Just a couple of days ago, the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali, he inaugurated the Homicho ammunition engineering industry, which produces ammunition, not only again for local market, but for export as well. So now a couple of days after, now the drones producing drones have Ethiopia have started or launched, and this is again inaugurated by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed Ali. Take a look here as he inaugurates this center, and also he have actually raised a very important historical facts, and there are also three things that the country has to do in terms of maintaining the momentum, not just to relax saying that okay, now we have started and that's all what we need to do. No, and I like that, the way how he put things. Okay, look at it. Let me just play it for you, but I'm gonna put the sound silent. So in the meantime, here is where he's inaugurating, greeting those military personnel or high military personnel in Ethiopian defense ministry. Yeah, so the prime minister has raised, first of all, he said, one of the things that history tells us, for example, Italy has invaded Ethiopia 3 times, and the Battle of Adwa being the final one. And they tell you, these elders, that the main thing is that you have a soldier, because you don't know when the enemy comes and invade you or open an army against your country. You don't know that. So you always have to have a military, and also you have to have your own weapons, that you do not rely on others. Those are the things that they tell you. So for me, so Ethiopia has taken a lesson. Also, we have also, just to strengthen his point, he was talking about the history of Italy, the war in Italy, but also we have a recent example, 2 years ago, from 2020 to 2022, in November, from November 2020 to November 2022, we have this war in the country, in the northern part of Ethiopia. And because of the sanctions the government has faced from all those, that were exporting that weapon to Ethiopia, even as the war goes on, in the middle of the war, has to source out for a different supplier, and that has really costed the government and costed the country as well. So this is something that Ethiopia has taken a lesson and started to act on it. So it literally took 2 years to open and start producing these drones. Literally 2 years. So this is by commissioning the Sky Wind Aeronautics industry, which is in Ethiopia. And so 3 important things have the prime minister in his speech inaugurating that he has raised. First of all, the importance of a continued research and development in this area, in producing it, not just to fold our arms and say, okay, we're producing this, exporting, and that's all, because we have to maintain the momentum. That's what he said. The second important point is that to expand the market, meaning exporting, even he did not say other countries or anything, he said within Africa. So that way, it's not even for the matter of the money, but also while you sell to others, they will come back to you with their input, saying that, oh, we want this part have to be this. So he said that input by itself is an asset, so that Ethiopia can implement it and start to produce a better one. So the export market is that much important, and I really loved that logic. And number three, he also said to enhance local production, and the local production of smart sensor technologies, which is, he's talking about the AI's, artificial intelligence, that Ethiopia cannot be out of it. In fact, they have made some progress. He said there is INSA, the intelligence unit, there is a defense manufacturing company which is under also the defense ministry, and now there is sky aeronautics. So all this in collaboration can do better things by sharing this AI technology. So these are really the important things that he has raised. Also, now these drones, you may ask, whenever we think drone, it's just used for war or something, but these drones will be used, yes, number one, of course, for security, for surveillance, for agriculture, for infrastructure monitoring, for all these things in which, the country really need it, very urgently. And the faster we reach that level of self-sufficiency, producing them, and not by it saves you, first of all, foreign currency, and secondly, you don't rely on no one in terms of supplying. So you don't have to ally with this one or that one, then in exchange you don't have to do anything, you just rely on yourself. So there's a lot of advantage, of course, having this production company within the country, which I'm going to come back to you later on. But beyond that, I want to say something. This production, what it does is it will assert the position of Ethiopia as an emerging player in global defense and aerospace sector. That is what it does. And as the prime minister said, he said something, asserting this position of Ethiopia in terms of global defense, not through deterrence, not really as a provoking war or something, just because you have a weapon, but through deterrence. So that's what it does for the country. Now, let me move to the second part of this news, which is the ammunition, that Ethiopia has started to produce ammunition, which already, I'm going to share that video with you. Just give me a second, because that by itself also does for Ethiopia, it will bring foreign currency and other things. Just, yeah. Okay, so this is it. I'm gonna play it, but make it silent. So the prime minister, a couple of days ago, he inaugurated this, and he said that actually within the last 3 months, before even it is inaugurated, Ethiopia has signed a number of exporters contracts for export, and already secured 30 million US dollar. So that's how useful and advantageous it is, beside being able self-sufficient in defense, in weapons, in defense weapons. And this is really critical for Ethiopia. Ethiopia not only that powerful country in the region in terms of economy, also in military as well. And this will also inject now the money that you get from exporting back to your economy. So Ethiopia used to buy its weapons, just to give you an idea, from Europe and from US as well. So now this will this will save a lot of money for the country. Now the ammunitions are actually includes those ammunitions used for Kalashnikov rifles, brand guns, sniper rifles, the DSHK dish, I think, and machine guns, and then also for tank artillery, ammunitions for all these equipments with defense weapons will be produced locally. So it's again, it has taken 2 years now. As a Pan-African platform, I always like to relate it, what it means in Africa. So there are quite a few countries that are producing ammunition. In the northern part, you have Algeria and Egypt. You have South Africa down there, and then in the west you have Nigeria. Now in the east you have Ethiopia, Kenya, and also to some extent Sudan. So these are the countries, and Ethiopia is now the emerging, or has emerged as a defense weapon producer for local and also for export as well. Now I would like to say something in terms of what it does, the benefits that it has for a country, not only for Ethiopia, to have your own defense equipment produced by you, by your own. That's first of all, number one, it creates job, right? I mean, literally, that's what it does. The fact that the weapons industry, it's a big money. When you import it, also, it's a big money. So if you can do it by yourself within the country, in the house, I mean, so to speak. So why not save yourself from that foreign currency and then do it locally within a fair amount of money? And at the same time, you are creating jobs for your people. So yeah, and as well, that money that you get from the sale of it, from the export, you can inject it back to your economy as well. Secondly, you have also a matter of quality. You can do it as you like, just because you don't go look for and buy cheap things. And then thirdly, what it does is also there's no interruption in flow while you are trying to import it from one country to the other. If you have an enemy on the way, it might be hijacked, and can be done something in route. And then number four, you have also it brings this, it instills national pride for the people. The fact that your country is able to produce those defense weapon for anything, actually, just like Ethiopians are proud of their Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam or any other national project, then this will instill pride as well. Number five, there's also technological advancement. So as I told you, there are three things that the Prime Minister has raised. So the third one is it relies on the AI and other smart technologies to enhance it with that. So because it's a competition, so you have to update yourself to reach that level, so that the others don't outsmart you. So these are the things that it brings as a benefit for any country that is producing its own defense weapons. So really kudos to the government. I mean, well done. There are a lot of things. I think Ethiopia can be an example as a country which is making a profit with those government-owned owned companies. You have Ethiopian Airlines, you have the banks, you have the defense industry, you have the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. All these are owned and financed by the government, and they all are doing good and profit making, and the Ethiopian Telecom as well. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much again for tuning in. Let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this move, Ethiopia emerging as a self-sufficient in terms of defense weapons? Let us know in the comment section of your thoughts. It's a bye bye for me for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.